Hi, I had to. Okay, so welcome to the FDIC claim review. We're not going to show the document because this is too public of a venue. Okay, so I have the challenge um, and the burden of wanting to share this information with the masses because the more people that uh, you know have success, the better off we are as a nation or as a people. Um, we need more doors to be open, and this stuff has been hiding in the shadows long enough. But at the same time, I can't afford to put a target on my back. So I have to be very, very careful. So I'm moving with trepidation because and let me just get the legal notice out of the way. You do not have my consent to use my name, to use the name of the PMA. So that is of Ann Smith or Iron PMA or Iron Sharpens Iron Council. And I have to say that because this is a very serious thing that you're embarking upon. Okay. Let me start off with the warnings. Um, People who have accessed their black card or their unlimited credit through a pass-through bank with this process um, have been dealt with, swiftly. Okay, let me give you two stories that came from trusted sources. Cannot say people's names, of course, but okay. The situation with the young woman who lost her life, and this is because she was very responsible with the use, of the card. She started, spending a lot of money and drawing a lot of attention after she had access to it. It surrounds, her uncle who feels terrible enough as it is, very responsible for the loss of her life because I I didn't speak to him directly, but I speak to someone who spoke to him. And yes, he is definitely regretful because given I believe she was 18 at the time, given a such a young person, you know, access to unlimited credit, she went buck wild, went crazy, and she ended up losing her life. Her body was found. I don't want to go into the details, but the point is, you must maintain some semblance of your regular life. Um, you know, when you have access, when you break through and you have that success, you're going to be watched, and in fact, count on being on a watch list. Okay, this is what they're watching for. Don't. This is exactly what they don't want to happen. Um, no one knows exactly what types of activities is going to get you in trouble, quote unquote trouble. But we're just using, all of these incidences, um, and just sort of, keeping tabs on, how to operate, and based on, you know, the results from that young woman's story. And there was a couple who did seminars in a hotel conference room, and the seminar was shut down. It was for the black card. The seminar was shut down, and then when they returned home, their home was ransacked and they disappeared. They no one really knows where they are, but they disappeared for quite some time, about 6 to 7 years. But we 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 may have you know found them, but of course, I can't say their names and things like that. But what was the other story? There was a story regarding Wesley Snipes, who he did a private debt discharge process, and somewhere or the other that involved the IRS and IRS forms, and he received $3 million. And then so they had to put out stories to discourage the masses. So the official public story was that he was in prison. Again, I got it on good word, he was at home. But the government controls the media, and they plant stories, and because they don't want um, us to access what is rightfully ours. And so um, I just want you all to know that this is very serious, and when you start it, you have to finish it. Okay, so let's go back to what I call it, just based on the title. It's called an FDIC claim. Okay, pay attention to the claim. When you make a claim, you have to back it up. Okay, you have to back it up, and you have to see it through, because they're going to fight you. Okay, I have had uh, 5 people who executed this plan, including myself. No, I'm the 6th person, so 5 in addition to me. And we all have different results. Okay. And you guys have the benefit of me going over this document that you're seeing. I went through it, putting it through the trenches in terms of, readability, and, you know, can you understand it? And then I amassed a list of questions and answers. So we'll have a Q&A in the back of the book, at the end. So all of that, to say that it's well packaged. You just have to take the time to go through it. And then you also have the benefit. I have a stack of papers here in front of me. These are all the different. I had to go searching all of my folders off to the side here. You can't see them, but I went through like 16 manila folders to find these specific documents that's although it's not a part of the FDIC claim process, it is the tools that I use to get me spun up on understanding banking laws and understanding the fraud that's happening, the mechanism behind our bank accounts, and how the bank is taking control of it, even when it's a closed bank. Okay, they control it, open or closed accounts, and they claim it. So now what you're going to do is you're making a claim, okay? But I softened the positioning of the writing. You have to read it, and you have to comprehend what the letter is trying to convey to the bank executive, right? You have to understand exactly what you're saying, so that when you fire that letter off, you'll know what to do or what to say if someone calls you, or if they write you back, if they respond. But it goes back to the beginning. It has to, you have to understand the claim process. Okay, let me put it to you like this. When a debt collection company writes you, they are making a claim against you. You can rebut that claim when they, say, hey, you owe this debt, and you can rebut the claim against you. So the next step is you have to put that rebuttal in writing, and you have to let it be known what your intentions are and what your position is. And then they have to counter your claim with an affidavit. Okay. And so you switch the scenario. Now you are the one making a claim. You are the one making a claim against the bank, and you're letting the bank know that this is your money that they owe to you, or your credit, access to your credit that they owe to you. But we're not going to go at them beating down doors and kicking down doors and ranting and raving. It's very um, friendly, and it's actually, I even put an ethical bribe. You don't have to use all of that. You can change the letter to sound like you. In fact, I encourage it so that it doesn't become a form letter that they start to ignore. Okay. So, give it some of your own energy so that it sounds like it's you. Now, the letter and the template use it as a template. It's just an example. So just add your energy into it, read it, and if it doesn't sound exactly like how you would say it, change it, because that's going to help you and that's going to help the movement, so that it's not just become a form letter that they can just feed into the computer. I even encourage you to write it, do it by hand, because then that way they damn sure can't run it through a database computer. Okay, so yeah, with that being said, I'm just, I have to be careful. I have to be protective of myself, because I don't want you to say, oh, well, Ann Smith or Iron PMA, as an Iron PMA member, if you're a member, said to do this or said to do that, because that's putting a target on my back. And I already have my dragon to slay when it comes to this process. When it comes to this process, here's where I am. I'm a little further off than you guys, but because I have so much on my plate, I can't even finish it. Okay. But I sent my first letter to Bank of America, the CFO. I sent my letter, and I'm going to put the version of my letter into this new into this new guide. And because I made a lot of changes, because when I'm, like I said, I'm a writer, and I enjoy the writing process, and I enjoy researching, and I enjoy the research process. I research and then I write. It's a process, right? That gels well together. When I first when I first completed writing version 1, I was thoroughly pleased and satisfied. Like, I went over it to my understanding, right? But then I tweaked it because I wanted to use another instrument as an ethical bribe. Okay, so the instrument that is in the original one is a letter of credit. Okay, it works, but I didn't want to use that one because I knew that one was going to work. So it's like, that's not challenging enough for me. So I wanted to change it. And I did, for mine, I used a different negotiable instrument. I used a bonded promissory note. And so that's what I sent. I sent a bonded promissory note. And I went over all this in the class over and over and over and over with the private class for 6 months. Right. So here's what happened. I sent my letter, which, by the way, is an investment letter. Okay, it's got an investment letter. There's so many different elements to this. I can't even go over it. We'll be here for hours, but everything, I promise you, everything is in the guide. Everything is in the guide. And if you need support, send an email. The email is in the guide. The email address is in the guide. But so I sent my hypothecation letter with all of the attachments, right? It's all in the guide. And with my bonded promissory note versus, the letter of credit. You can do either one. You could do the one that I did. You could do the letter of credit. That what I'm telling you that is because it's not necessary to do the ethical bribe. They're supposed to do what you want them to do because now the gig is up and you're letting them know that they can no longer file that account as abandoned property, right? So now you're as the rightful interest holder in that account, you are claiming it, okay? And they really should, but they fight us because the fraud has been going on for so long. They're so used to living high on the hog off of our properties. So now, okay, so here's where I am. I sent my letter out and I sent it, I have to look again. I think I sent it out certified mail. Anytime I do any kind of tracking, I do tax per Q. Okay, there's a tax per Q course available on the site. Just go to payhip.com. Iron sharpens iron. Okay, without the council. Iron sharpens iron. Payhip, payhip.com. Iron sharpens iron. So many people kept asking, hey, how you do you do? So I had to write it up. Okay, so I took time, energy, so it's available. It's for sale on that site. So anytime I send out my registered mail, certified mail, return receipt, I never pay. But as a backup, I always, send it first class mail too, because I noticed that they like to play games because they know that I'm onto them. That has happened with City Mortgage, in my foreclosure claim, and just so many other matters that they seem to take longer with my things because I guess my name is like on the list. So I sent my letter. I sent my letter with the attachments and the bonded promissory note. And so yeah, the next thing I know, so I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Next thing I know, I have received a bank statement. Now, mind you, this is on a closed account. I highly recommend that you do it on a closed account. You can do this. You can make a claim on any account, old, new, closed, open. But I recommend that you do the process with a closed account, an account that makes no difference to your current living situation, so that there is no interference with your livelihood. It just makes sense, right? So this was a closed account. The account was closed because for several months or whatever period of time went by, it was in the negative for too long, and so they closed it. Okay. So when I did this process, it had been closed for, I don't know, maybe 6 months, 5 months, something like that. I didn't care. It could be closed for a day. You can do it. It doesn't matter. Okay, so it's your account. It doesn't matter. So the account was closed. I sent the letters. I sent my package out to Bank of America, the CFO, via certified mail, tax per Q, for free. I got my return receipt back, the green, return receipt. And so I knew that they received it. Okay, this was the address in Georgia. You got to look up the bank addresses. I don't provide that. Let Google do the walking for you. Let your fingers do the walking and get the bank information. I got to remember to put the website that I use. It's called Hunter. Let me write it down. Hunter.io. And so they helped me to find the bank, the executive, the entire staff of executive, the entire executive staff, excuse me, the entire executive staff's email address. Hunter only gives you the email addresses, but you can write them and ask them for information. Okay. So I get in response. Hear me now. In response, I get a bank statement as if the bank account is open. So they arbitrarily and unilaterally made the decision to just reopen my account. That was their response. They opened my account without calling me, without sending me a letter. They just sent me this bank statement after this. Is it directly related? I can't see why not, because they stopped mailing me anything at all. In fact, when they told me that the reason why I know my bank account was closed was because they sent that in the mail that your bank account was closed. And then that was the last piece of mail that I got from them. They didn't ask me to pay the negative, nothing like that. They were just like, oh, okay, your account is closed. And I didn't care because that's not an account that I use. Okay. So they sent me the bank statement, and it had a few lines of activity, and then the ending balance was a penny. It's a setup. I've heard from a few people that it's a setup. So you see the games that they're playing. Now I can rebut it. I have sent out a letter in response. Oh, by the way, when that bank statement came with a penny, a positive penny, as the balance, the ending balance. And by the way, the negative amount, the negative that had caused my account to be overdrawn, that was gone, nowhere to be found. So I called customer service and I said, hey, what is going on with this account? There's a positive penny. What happened to the negative amount? And, I didn't want to include any private processes, with the bonded promissory note and the hypothecation letter. I didn't want to say any of that to customer service. I just wanted them to give me information. I was calling for information. You tell me what's going on, right? So then I said, look into my notes and tell me what's going on. Did you see anything? And she looked and she said, hey, this is different. I said, what's going on? She said, it's your account was paid off by the bank. Your negative amount was paid off by the bank. I said, oh, okay. She's like, no, you don't understand. That's not the norm. That's not the typical manner that it's handled. It's usually handled by the bank selling the debt to a debt collection company, right? So she said she's never seen that before. And I said, well, do you know why? And she said, no. So I said, well, is there somebody that maybe you could ask and find out what's going on? And so she put me on hold, talked to the manager. Manager said she didn't know either. So I said, okay. I thought about asking for a new debit card, but I just was like, nah, forget it. I want to deal with the private side. I want to deal with the executives. Okay, we are principals. Principals deal with principals. Okay, remember that. If you get nothing else, remember that. Okay, so I waited. I fired off a round 2 letter, which I will add, and then so now the next thing I know, I get another bank statement, and now this time they added $12.94. I can't remember now. So now I have $12.95 in my account. They're just doing whatever to my account, and that's against the law. They're breaking all kinds of banking laws, federal and otherwise. Okay. The bank is an instrumentality of the United States, meaning it is a co-partner to the United States, but we are the creditors. All of that is in the letter. I don't want to go into, duplication of effort. Okay, I just kind of want to give you the personal tidbits that's not necessarily found in the book. Okay, this is extra that's going to help you with your journey. And you guys know, when typically when you buy a book, you don't have this from the author, but you have this from me, because I really believe that it's going to help ground you, and it's going to help to give you the strength and fortify you, your understanding, so that you can have the confidence to know that you are on the right side of the law. Okay, they are the outlaws, but even still, because we are disjointed, and we don't have the force, you know, behind us like they do. They have, you know, an army of lawyers, and that they, you know, and literally an arsenal of legal paperwork that they can throw at you. And if you're not ready, then you'll lose your claim. You'll lose your position on your claim. It will be denied, and you won't know what to do next. So I am. What's taking me so long, because I was in the process of constructing a third round letter to respond, because I just recently received that new bank statement with the $12.94, and then in addition to that, later on I received another letter. This time, the bank, and they never signed. It says customer service. That's not a person. That's not a man. That's not a woman that can make a claim against you. So that's a fraud. That's a little, that's just extra nugget right there. Yeah, I got another notice letting me know that, Miss Smith, you are still responsible for the negative. Oh yeah. Oh, okay. We're about to find that. So I'm composing a letter in response to that. Now, I can't promise you that you're going to get the same response. I can say that wholeheartedly, because the other people who started this process, they received form letters. Some of them received form letters. Some of them received a different response than the form letter, and a different response than me. I have so many people coming at me, so I can't remember everything, but I remember the customer service, the default customer service. We are investigating your complaint, and we'll get back to you. That kind of thing, that kind of response. That's what a few people received, and so you have to take them through the administrative process, because remember, your first contact with them was this claim. So now you have to finish the claim. You have to finish your process. And don't let it go. Do you think the debt collection company, when they're coming after you and you ignore them, does that stop them? No. They still come after you. They still send you another bill. I don't know why this computer keeps freezing. Oh my gosh. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, they keep sending you more paperwork and more paperwork and more paperwork. Okay. And they don't stop until you make them stop. You send so many different responses: cease and desist, an invoice, all kind of things. But yeah, I'm gonna arm you guys with everything. I don't know if I'll be able to find the videos, because I did watch videos too that helped to give me a nice solid foundation, and just nice solid education on the behind the scenes that helped me to formulate this letter. And truth be told, I used, it's like a mad scientist building Frankenstein. I put elements from the black card letter. I put elements from, the letter of credit. I put elements from different documents, and I built up this thing. It started out very long. I don't remember now, because it went through so many iterations. I would say maybe 5 pages or something like that. But now it's down to one page because I kept refining it and I just kept going over it, and I would literally meditate on it, sleep on it, read it, lay down, get back up, read it. I mean, I just wanted to make sure that I had everything perfected, because everything in law is about your intention. And if I'm putting my intentions in writing, I want to make damn sure that it is accurate to the best of my ability, right? So this package is going to come to you, and you're going to have instant access to all of the understanding in one nice neat package. But that neat little package that you're receiving took 3 months out of my life, 2 to 3 months out of my life of sheer studying and dedication, and putting all other things aside. Okay, so the next thing that I want to cover is, will it work? There are zero guarantees here. Okay, because I cannot uh, stress enough that there are just too many variables. Okay, different men and different women. That's number one. Different states, and there are 50 different states. That's number two. The different banks. There are just so many different variables. I just don't know. But it just depends on how far are you willing to take it. Are you going to quit the minute that, the going gets tough, or are you going to be like the tough and get going when the going gets tough? You have to be willing to take it all the way to the Supreme Court if you have to, because they're wrong, you're in the right, and you're going to win. Okay, but some people quit because they don't want to have a battle, and you might have other things going on. Okay, but I'm telling you, I have friends that's why it took so long to do it, because I wanted to make sure that it was going to happen for me, and I made sure that I understood what I was doing. So even though I have friends who have their black cards and have access, I wanted to make sure that that I had it in me to finish the process, from beginning to end. Okay, so it may take you 6 months. It is not instant, but I guarantee, based on what I see, the people who are living private and have access, I guarantee you, it's worth it. It is worth the battle. It is worth it. I'm highly encouraged. I'm encouraging you to finish it, and just pursue wrongdoers. That's it's a claim, and it's your rightful claim. A claim is a legal assertion. So that's what you're doing. You're making a legal assertion that these people have wronged you, and you have to finish it. Nobody's going to finish it for you. I can't finish it for you. I can help you by providing you with a guide in a nice, neat package. Okay. So, what else did I want to tell you? Um, yeah, about the amount. Um, the FDIC insurance claim. It is insurance. It's federal insurance that insures the bank, of each one of these accounts. Okay, each one of these accounts represent $250,000 every quarter, meaning every 3 months. So it really has a value of $1 million. Now, based on different people doing it and different people accessing during different times of the year, it a pattern started to emerge. I cannot guarantee this, but all I can say is, depending on the quarter of the year, you may be granted access $250,000 all the way up to the 1 million. I have talked to people who have one of each. It seems to me that if you send your letter during the first quarter, you're going to get access to the 250. Second quarter, you're going to get access to 500. Third quarter, 750,000. Fourth quarter, last quarter of the 12-month period, 1 million. Do not, okay, I recommend don't change the number that's in the template. Do what you want to do. I can't tell you, but I'm just saying, don't, just because you know that doesn't mean I'm saying do it. Everyone I know did it with the same amount, with the $250,000, right? They decide through their own backroom operation that they're going to give you access to whatever the amount. There's no solid letter saying, well, we gave you this amount because it's in the third quarter. No. We're just formulating. I network with people, and they give me my information, and I share it, as best that I can. So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to say with the amount. Again, the template is not it's there as a guide. It's there as an example. Please don't use it word for word. Like I can't stress it enough. Let it sound like it's coming from you, from your own essence, your own energy. I promise you, it will go off so much smoother. I put my all, I put my soul, heart, blood, sweat, and tears into this, and I pray that it will work for you. It's working for me so far. I'm going to default them in admin process. I'm going to pursue this to the best of my ability all the way to the Supreme Court if I have to, but typically they settle out of court and just grant you the card. So that's where I'm at. I'm just, it's just taking me longer. If you're looking for something that's quick, if you're looking for something that's fast, if you're looking for something that's easy, this is not for you. This is not for you. It is an uphill battle all day, every step of the way. Even though you're proven beyond a shadow of a doubt what you're doing, you'll see. All you have to do is read the letters and read between the lines of the letter, and you will soon start to formulate the ideas behind you. Before you send them out, read it multiple times. Read it 10, 15, 20 times if you have to. So I'm going to put my round 2 letter that I sent. I'm going to put my round 3 letter that I haven't finished writing. I'm going to put that in the document, and then you're off to the races. It is on you, okay? If you get in a jam or open, because now you're showing yourself competent to take an interest of your account. Just if you know the law and review the extra documents that I'm going to send to you, like I said, these documents are not in the process. Excuse me, they're not in the process, but they're going to help give you a foundation, because this is what I use. I have to go through several manila folders, just combing through and getting everything, because I want to make sure that you guys, I don't want to keep anything from you. I want you to understand where I'm coming from, how I got to this knowledge. 3 years ago, I was a bumbling idiot, didn't know anything about it. I didn't know anything about this fraud. But now that I know the fraud, do you think I'm going to let it go? Would the bank let it go if you owed them $250,000? That's the question. So why am I going to let it go? Why should you let it go? But see, some people don't have it in them to fight till the end, and then they complain that, oh, this stuff doesn't work. Well, it doesn't work for you. Doesn't mean it's not working for other people. Okay, so I'm in the throes of it because, I just like a challenge, and I have different processes that I am working on, that I was more successful with. I get a lot of responses. And so, basically, I have all of my debt discharged perfected. Well, most of them. Where was one that was challenging me? I can't remember now, but I'm writing another guide on specifically debt discharge because I don't have any more debt because of it. It's a very simple process. It involves the A for B, accepted for value. So, but now I want access to the account. I want my black card. So that's why I'm like, okay, let me throw this on my plate as if I don't have enough to do. So that's where I am right now. So um, I have to protect myself, because I don't know who's going to dishonor my request to not share this video, and then it could be misunderstood, misconstrued. I don't know how much you're going to show. I don't want the document on video. Okay, so I think I pretty much covered everything. If I haven't, just know, and you read it and you have questions, you have my support. I'm gonna say, because I need to cut some people off, cut some the apron strings. Okay, I'll say 3 months after purchase, because some people just keep stuff and then circle back to it 6 years later. No, 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 no. 3 months after the purchase of the file, um, with the exception of the previous group, and you know who you are, the previous members, the members of the Iron PMA, the secret group that was on Facebook. Um, with the exception of them, the time and expiration for support for this document in terms of asking questions via email, that's you're gonna have a 3-month window. Why? Because I can't just keep waiting on you to do this. We need the number, and you need to get this out there. So you need to study the material. You need to go to the links I'm gonna send you. You need to watch some of the videos on your own. Just find videos on your own on YouTube, because I don't think I'm gonna be able to find all of them. I'll try. And you need to get yourself spun up like I did. It didn't take me long. It took me 2-3 months. Okay. And I am not a genius at any stretch of the imagination. I just took the time, took the interest, and I want access. It's my money. It's my credit. It's my unlimited credit, and I want it. And so I'm just going to pursue it. Just look at it as pursuing wrongdoers. Okay. So for the people that are kind of grandfathered into who had purchased this before in the previous Iron PMA, you all have with me since the beginning, since January 2019. So you're gonna get an extra time, because I appreciate you and I appreciate the vote of confidence. And I know that there's a lot of stuff that you could be doing with your time and your money. So I definitely appreciate the vote of confidence. So I want to keep my promise to you, and continue to have that open dialogue and communication with you all through January 2020. Okay, via email support. Okay, so everyone else, from the time of purchase, and I can see it in the database when you download it, you will have 3 months. After 3 months, you will not get any more email support, because I believe in that time frame, depending on your circumstances and what's going on in your life, I believe that that's ample time. That's more than enough time to execute. So remember, I studied this and put it together and execute it in 3 months. You don't have to study to compile it. I was the curator of the information. It's already in a nice, neat package for you. Just execute it, you know, build up that confidence, read all the background information, the foundational tools that I'm going to provide for you, and send it, you know. And then just finally, when that day does come that you have access, be responsible. Do not draw attention to yourself, and teach other people this process, but teach them not like this, teach them privately in your own home. You know, show them the documents, show them what you did, explain to them how you came to the understanding, because I am all for sharing the information, but do it responsibly so that you don't get a target on your back. Okay, this is already public enough, and so I'm just doing the best that I can, because I know the more people get it out there, it helps us. We're building an army in this way, a network of people that have this success. So, and the more people that are, getting through, the more doors you're opening for the next generation and the next generation that's after that. So that's what's in my heart. I have a heart to share. I want everyone to access their unlimited credit, beginning with the $250,000. I don't know if you're going to get the larger amounts. Can't guarantee. I'm just telling you what I know based on the pattern that started to emerge from watching other people do it. So this is where we are. Okay. Again, if you have any questions, send me an email. Okay. I'm trying to. Oh yeah, I did want to say something about the Social Security Administration. Yeah, just a little blurb about when I called them. They wouldn't tell me till I was questioning. They kept me a long time. I was getting all my questions. Slightly related, but not directly. Indirectly. I called to ask about the number. And this is earlier on when you calling it an exemption number. The number on the back letter, the red number. On my Social Security card is a red number with a beginning of a letter, right? And so I called. I was like, "What is this number? Is this some kind of bond number?" I was digging in. I was just going for it. And do you know that woman would not tell me? And she said that she can't tell me. I said, "Well, can you tell me? And you know what it is?" And she said, "Yes, I do know. But I am not the right to give you that information." I said, "But is it my card? Is it my number?" Is this long story short? The government doesn't want you to access this information. They will. This is why it's taking us so long. This is why it's taking us so long. This is why it's taking so many of us so long. This is why they fight us when we start knocking on doors for us. But just know, I'll leave you on this note. Everything is through the state, because it is the state. It's in the Constitution. Everything is through the state. Full faith and credit is given to states, and you are the source of the credit of your own bank account. Just leave it right there. All of this information is in the guide. Guys, I can't stress enough. Read it. Read it until comprehension happens. Read it. It's all right there. I wish you well, and I look forward to hearing from you via email. And please share the love when or after you are successful. The only way that you're going to succeed is if you execute and finish what you started. If you quit, then there's no reason for you to be sharing it. So I want this information in the hands of everyone. So, or you can just tell them to come and buy materials. That's it, guys. I hope I was able to convey the seriousness of what you're about to embark upon, and I want you to know that I support this document 100%. I back it 100%. It is, it is from my understanding. It is to the best of my ability. But you can't use that in the court. You can't say, well, she told me in this document. No, you have to stand on your own authority, okay? You don't have rights. You have authority and power. So you have to know how to use that authority and that power, okay, from your creator. So I don't want to get too in depth with that. I'm going to close out here. I've been talking to you guys now for 50 minutes. I didn't even mean for it to be this long. But it's just so important to me that you understand that this is serious and it's not to be taken lightly. And I did the best that I could, and it would help if you send the document out, get the response, and then let me know what kind of response you got. Now I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to include round 2 and round 3, because that's where I am. But I just want to know that this is not a process. It's a process for you. It now becomes your process. Put your name on it. It's your name that's going out on the line here. So it's not going to become your process. And you got to do it to your satisfaction and to your standing and comprehension level. Okay, so you have to stand on your square. You can't stand on my square. You got to stand on your own square. Right? On that note, good luck, everybody. Execute, read, and execute. Okay? And finish what you start. It is a claim. Finish the claim. Administratively, then you take it to court if you have to. But typically, not one person had to take it to court. They settled because they saw that they weren't quitting. They're not going to let it go. Hold on to the horns of that to the horns of that bull, and don't let it go. Don't let it go. So because that's what they're counting on. They're counting on you to quit. I'm not quitting. Are you? All right. So that's pretty much all I have to say. If you reach out and you have questions, send it through email. I'll do my best to get back to you within 24 hours. Don't hold me to that because I get a lot of emails. I'm trying to cut down on the messenger. So don't send me a message on Messenger, or I'm gonna have to send you a bill because it's just too much. It's just too much. I am not a guru. I am not an expert. I am not even a teacher. I am a fellow student and researcher, just like you, just like everyone who is hearing me speak, everyone at the sound of my voice. I am learning in these streets just like everybody else, and I do not want to be elevated to any kind of title that puts a target on my back, like I keep saying, and I don't want any of that. I don't want anything to do with that. I'm a humble woman, and I know my place, and just know that I want to be giving and sharing of information. But that information has been transmuted, that raw data of information has been transmuted into knowledge that you can execute. So therefore, I am asking for the donation. So we won't get into all that. I shared that in a video, in another discussion. So there it is. It's all on the line, and it's all up to you. All right? Take care. Good luck. And you need support by email. All right? Take care, everybody.